Hello, my name is Lorelei, and tonight the story that I have for you is called Reflection. Everyone knows the story of Snow White, but that story has been twisted and changed over the years. Tonight, I am going to tell you the story of the first witch who possessed the magic mirror. Our story begins in the late 15th century with a devastatingly beautiful queen whose beauty and sensuality were second to none. For 30 years she ruled a small town until the source of her beauty was discovered by the townspeople. You see, it turns out that she was abducting and killing young children by stealing their youth to maintain her own. Chased out of town in the middle of the night, she took only a few items with her: her brush, her cloak, and her most important possession, her magic mirror. It was said that this woman, or witch, as this better describes what she was, could lure men of any age with her voice and get them to do anything that she asked. She would prance through the woods naked, and any who would follow would become a victim of her desires. Those desires were not of a sexual nature, however. She would feed on the energy of their life force and feast on their flesh. The witch always stayed one step ahead of the many who hunted her with that most precious possession, her mirror. "Mirror, mirror, I call out to thee, where are the men that are hunting me?" And then the mirror would show her the location of her enemies. Every now and then the mirror would vibrate and show an image of the witch as she truly appeared, an old and ugly hag. But to the world she still appeared young and beautiful. On many days the mirror told the witch, "There is one alive who would feed your beauty for years to come." The mirror would give this person's location to the witch, but never her name. Many years passed, and she had lived in the shadows of the forest for more than a century. Villagers knew to avoid the forest, but travelers were not as lucky. If one were to come across the scent of lilac and cinnamon, it would already be too late. They would be under the witch's spell, and she would lure them in with her beauty and her dance so that they would do her bidding. "Steal me a female child and bring her to me so I may have my youth," she would tell them. Once finished with the men she possessed, she would feast upon them as well. One morning, the witch asked the mirror, "Mirror, mirror, I call out to thee. Is there one as clever as me?" The image in the mirror showed a young couple looking so happy and gazing lovingly at their daughter, so young and so beautiful. This began the witch's obsession and hatred with a young girl named Grace. This was the girl that the mirror had told her of. She knew where she was, but time and time again, despite trying to capture this girl who could ensure her beauty and youth for years to come, the witch always missed her target. Grace always stayed one step ahead of her. The witch poisoned her mother, she drowned her father, but she never found Grace. Years passed by, and one morning the witch asked the mirror a different question. "Mirror, mirror, I call out to thee. Who is the one that will destroy me?" The mirror lit up, showing an image of Grace perched on a tree branch above her. The witch turned to try to escape this fate, but it was too late. Grace fell on her with the strength of 1,000 men, a strength born from a deep hatred of all of the pain that this evil being had caused in her young life. She took her father's blade, blessed by the high priests, and thrust it into the heart of the witch. "How?" the witch asked. "How did you know where I would be?" Grace responded, "The woods are home to good spirits as well as bad. You angered them with your jealousy, and you took too much, so they were more than happy to help me. But I will tell you how I found my way here, witch. You killed my great-grandfather and took his only daughter, but not his sons. The story of the one who would defeat you has been passed down through my family as a fairy tale, and I listened. The spirits guided me, just as it was foretold they would, and I found your home. While you were fast asleep, I asked your magic mirror how your life would end, and the mirror's reflection showed me how to destroy you. After that night, I trained with great warriors so that when the time came, I knew that I would be ready. Your mistake was never giving up your search for me. Grace pulled the blade from the witch's heart and cut off her head. Burning the body of the witch, Grace placed the witch's head on a stake as a reminder to any who would do evil in the pursuit of youth and beauty that true beauty can only be found by looking within, not at your reflection. When Grace left the woods that day, she forgot about the magic mirror, and there it would sit until another vain and evil woman stumbled upon it. That woman was Queen Grimhild, who would marry a king whose daughter had skin as white as snow and lips as red as berries. But that's a story for another time.